Before we start this video, I would like to announce that my Discord bot, Identity5Info, now responds to DMs. So if you DM the bot with like a basic question or something, it will answer. So yeah, invite that. Link in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be discussing the newest persona trait for survivors called the flywheel effect. Now, when I first saw this trait, I thought it was actually going to be a little bit broken, but after playing around with it in some matches, testing it out, going against some survivors that are also running this trait, I'm honestly conflicted on how I feel about it. On one hand, I do like how there's actually a third viable route to put your persona in now. Like before, it was you did borrowed time and then you would go either Tide Turner or broken windows, but now you can do borrowed time and you can also have a third option to branch off to now, and I think that's really interesting. But on the other hand, it's also a bit of a problem because flywheel and broken windows are kind of accomplishing not exactly the same thing, but they kind of do the same thing. Like they improve upon kiting, which they're both, you know, that's one function of the game. The functions of the game, like kiting, rescuing, and decoding, basically. And we have borrowed time, which obviously that's what you run on everybody, and that doesn't really exactly fall into any of those categories. And then you have Tide Turner, which is your rescuing persona web, but flywheel effect and broken windows are both kind of kiting persona effects. And I mean, decoders still probably are going to run a kiting effect or a rescue effect. Decoders don't really exactly have a set persona that they run. They can run either one. A lot of characters do have, like Mercenary, for example, has to run Tide Turner and whatnot, but I digress. Now, is flywheel effect going to be good? I think flywheel effect is actually, it's not going to be broken, and I think it's actually going to be a fairly viable thing to use on like forward, to pretend, bait out excitement maybe, things like batter, enchantress, so you don't have to use your item when the hunter's trying to stop you from harassing. If they get a little bit too close, you can just flywheel effect and, you know, get away from that, and then you can continue on harassing. And I think it's going to be very viable for those characters, but otherwise I feel like it's going to be not as good as broken windows for any kiters or rescuers or really anybody else. It's just going to be for a few characters that it's going to be used for. And don't get me wrong, that is better than spectator. Good lord, spectator, what a trait. What a trait that was. But I really wish instead of flywheel effect we got something more related to decoding. Now, before you start throwing sharp objects at my head, no, I think Cypher Rush is still something that should probably be nerfed, but I do wish there was, you know, maybe another thing for that function of the game. Instead of having two different, like, kind of branches that do more or less the same thing, it really just depends on playstyle. And honestly, what I see happening is, well, the community is just going to largely decide whether one is better than the other, whether that be broken windows or flywheel effect, and they're only going to use that one. Like flywheel effect's either going to be the only one used, or broken windows is going to be the only one used, because I think just unanimously people are going to decide one is better than the other. And I think majority, one of those traits will still not be as bad as spectator. It'll still be used a little bit, but won't be used that much. And even right now, I can only really see flywheel effect being super effective on stuff like harassers, like I already said, which is a really not that prevalent character. Like there's, and I don't mean that as like, there's not a lot of harassers is what I'm trying to say. Especially meta harassers, there's not a lot of. Even stuff like, I don't know, forward, you're still probably wanting to run Tide Turner, so it's like, okay, well, there's a big trade-off there. And forward is like the main harasser, so unless it's like a batter or enchantress, you're probably not really going to see flywheel. And broken windows will give you probably more value than flywheel effect will for most characters, because you can get that window boost and you can get a palette boost. And those are both very common and pretty easy to use. Plus, they both recharge faster. So you're getting 2 boosts that recharge faster instead of just the one kind of, oh shit, I'm out in the open and need to get to a pallet. Like, flywheel is good if you like overextend or something, but if you're kiting optimally, I don't feel like it's, you know, going to be the most helpful thing in the world. But I'm not sure. I'm glad that Spectator is out of the game. I'm glad that that's been replaced. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Also, download my Discord bot. I've been committing to updating it very frequently, so now's a great time to download it. Peace.